In this video, I'm going to show you step-by-step instructions on how to replace the front display on the Samsung A51 A51. To start off the repair, I would recommend using a heat mat if you have one available. However, if you don't have a heat mat, I would recommend using a hairdryer instead. Have it on a high setting and just continue to warm up around the area until the device is warm to the touch. Once you have got it warm, you can take a single-sided razor blade and create a small opening at the very bottom of the phone. Just like that. Peel it back like that to create a larger gap, and then we're going to get the guitar pick now, insert it into that gap we just created, remove the razor blade, and then begin running the guitar pick along the edge of the device. If you look, I've only got the pick inserted a few millimeters, probably a maximum of 5 millimeters, and we're just going to run it all the way along this edge, then along the top edge, and this is sort of cutting the adhesive in between the back cover and the chassis. Finally, we've got this right hand edge to run down. These A series back covers are made of plastic, so it's not too tricky to remove these. Just continue to work through it until the back cover is sort of detached. It might stick back down, or you might find that there's bits of adhesive what have remained. So in that case, we're just going to go back over it and sort of pry like that, just to pull it away, because there is a couple of areas where the adhesive goes around the camera like there, and a bit more there. Whilst the back cover's warm, it's a good idea to remove this adhesive because it's easiest to work with when it's a bit softer from the heat. So just go through, pull off what you can with your hands, and then rubbing it with your thumb helps as well. Just get all that adhesive whilst it's still warm. Otherwise, obviously, if you do this step later, then just use your hairdryer to soften it up again, or a heat mat if you have one. It does get a little bit messy with the adhesive, so just keep it sort of clean as you go through, wiping up any of your mess. I think we were lucky here because all the adhesive stuck to the back cover, so we were just able to sort of run our finger around and remove it all, because there's none left over on this back cover. So we're going to continue with the disassembly, removing all these screws that hold down this mid frame. So first of all, go ahead and remove the SIM tray. Make sure that that's popped out of the way. And then I'm going to use the electronic screwdriver to remove all those crosshead screws. All these screws are the same size and shape, so don't worry if you mix them up. You might find that they don't stick to the magnetic screwdriver. Obviously that one did as soon as I say that. So what you'll have to do is just go back through once they're removed with the tweezers, just to pull them out. They can be a little bit springy, so just beware and just be careful when you're taking these out. Just keep them organized on your work area and try and avoid losing any screws. You don't want to do that. It's not ideal when you come to putting it back together. If you wanted one of these screwdrivers like I use in the video, it is really handy if you're regularly repairing small stuff like this. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can buy one. It just helps support the channel. They are affiliate links, and I do appreciate everybody who spends money on either Amazon or AliExpress or wherever I put the affiliate link to. So just the last ones to ping out. Try and not let them fly off into the stratosphere. So now that all those screws are removed, just go and double check and make sure that you've not missed any out. So now that we've got those out, we need to remove this mid-frame bezel. The easiest place to go in with this is just by the SIM tray here, just because it's sort of a weak spot in the plastic and easy to get the guitar pick into. And all we're going to do is push the guitar pick in like that, and then begin running it down this edge. Sometimes it'll fall out, just pop it back in. And that snapping sound, because it's unfamiliar, you might be worried that you're breaking something. It's just the way that it unclips away from the main frame of the phone. Once you've got one edge out, it starts getting a bit easier. The corners can be a bit tricky, and then also be careful around the button areas. So I'll probably make this look quite easy. I know that inexperienced hands will make it a little bit more difficult, but just persevere with it because it will eventually come away very easily, just like that. The user of this phone reported that it was water damaged, and I can see just a bit of gunk and rubbish inside the mid-frame cover here. So I'm just going to use a fresh little brush just to clean that up and make it really, really nice. Right, let's put this down to one side and then concentrate on tearing down the rest of the phone. Use a plastic spudger to first of all disconnect the battery, isolating power from the device. And then I am going to leave this connected as well as this connected, and this cable here that connects and runs through. It's just easier to remove all these parts all in one rather than disconnecting these, having to reconnect them. Trust me, it's how we do it. There is one small black screw just holding the motherboard down here. Go ahead and remove that. Keep it separate from those silver screws that we removed earlier. Let's clean up this gunk first actually. There's just some more gack sitting around on this subboard, so I'm just going to use the brush to give it a good scrub and make sure that that's gone away. And then I'm going to use my plastic spudger again to disconnect this cable here. That's for the display. It runs down there and then into the screen on the front. We're going to remove that as well as these two screws for the fingerprint sensor. And now the other. And that's the same as I said before. We can just leave that connected still. All we're going to do is just pop it out like that and then leave it sort of flapping around. We now have to remove this charging port or subboard, and I'm going to go in just here with the plastic spudger, get underneath it. It is stuck down a little bit, so you might have to pry a bit, but once it's free, it should be quite easy to lift up and take out. So you can take that out like that, pull this cable up like that, and then what I was saying before is that you can remove the subboard and the main board all in one. The reason I do this is A, because these are quite tricky, especially for beginners to reconnect, and B, these particular connections here are very fragile, so disturbing them is unnecessary, I suppose. So remove it just like that and then store it like that just next to it. To remove the battery, I'm going to soak all four edges in isopropyl alcohol. I'm using 99.9% pure isopropyl alcohol to do this, and I'm going to let it soak for a good 5 minutes. That's going to work its way into the adhesive and soften it up real nice. I'll just put that to one side, and then this is the new part. It's a genuine Samsung service pack, and the way that these come, once I get it out of the package, is attached to a frame just like this one. So you've got the screen, then you've got the frame, and then attached to that is the vibration motor. There isn't an ear speaker attached to this one, so we'll have to transfer that from the old one. And I think that's just about it with it. Sometimes you have to transfer the vibration motor, sometimes you have to transfer the buttons, but in this case it's just the ear speaker for this particular one. So I'll come back to this whilst it's still soaking in isopropyl, and we're going to remove that ear speaker. I would strongly recommend warming up the speaker area because they can be a little bit tricky to get out. The adhesive's a little bit strong and they have a tendency to split as well, so you just got to be careful. You will get it out pretty easily, just like that. So that can be transferred over. I'll do the same again, just clean it up a little bit with the brush before we install it into the new part, and then we'll leave that soaking in that isopropyl alcohol again. Let's start off with our new frame. First of all, installing the ear speaker. Pop it in just like that. When we do these repairs, I normally aim to get the genuine Samsung service pack adhesives. They do come in quite expensive, and if I can find a link for one, I will put it in there. However, our supplier was out of stock, so on this occasion, I'm going to use 10mm Tessa tape to re-secure this battery down. So we're going to put 2 strips of 10mm on one side, and chop it off, and then another couple of strips on this side too. That goes on there, and then I'll cut this one a bit shorter. And this means it is still removable, but it does secure the battery down properly. And let's have a look at this one now. All being well, we should be able to get this suction cup attached to the battery just like that. Very carefully lift up. You might have to wiggle it from side to side, lift both sides up, keep spinning it around. As I am doing that, it's getting more alcohol underneath it. You can wiggle it around, but sometimes these can be very tricky to remove. Eventually it will come out just prying up like that. If you use a piece of plastic card like this, you should be able to get it underneath whilst you're lifting it up and sort of run that under the battery as you're lifting up with the suction cup, and it comes away pretty easily. Don't use one of these, right? Because you're going to pry it and it's going to bend the battery. Don't use metal tools, for crying out loud. Just use either the suction cup or the plastic card and it will eventually come off. You can see that the alcohol has done its job and it did come away eventually. Sometimes it's just hard to get it started with the suction cup alone. We're done with this screen now, so we can get rid of that or recycle it. I mean, this one, I might keep it even just for data recovery's sake. It only had a line on it. And then with the battery, go back to that rubbing action and get all the adhesive off of there. Once you've got hold of a bit, then you might be able to peel a good bit of it off, although this adhesive is horrid on the back cover. Once all that adhesive has been removed, you might find that you're left with this sort of rippling on the battery. It's just where a bit of the battery outer has separated from the inner. Just use your plastic tool just to flatten them down to make it nice and smooth again, and make sure all the adhesive is removed still. We'll now go straight in with installing this battery, so peel back the backing sheet on the tape, place the battery into position, and then just apply some gentle pressure to make sure that it's stuck down securely. Now we can take the main board and subboard, and we're going to drop the main board in first. Make sure that that sits in nice and flat, no obstructions on it. And then, if you remember, we had one black screw that secured the board down just here. Don't be tempted to connect the battery just yet, just leave that disconnected, and then we're going to run this white cable into its little housing. I'm using my thumbnail there, but you can use the back edge of the spudger. Just push it down, make sure that it runs in, and then when you get to this point, look, you need to make sure that this display cable is inside like that. Then we can attach this, make sure that the fingerprint sensor pushes in, and then to stop that flopping around, let's get it secured down actually. So there's two more black screws that hold that in place. And then we can fold over this display cable now, and we're going to attach it like that. Now we can finish off making sure that the white cable sits into the little channel in the back of the screen. Pop it in like that. It can be awkward and it can pop out. If it does, just push it back in before we put this mid frame on. Then we can reattach the battery. And then we're almost finished now. We're just going to place the mid frame cover back over everything, apply pressure all the way around, making sure that it clicks nicely back into place, and then we'll start torquing up all these remaining silver crosshead screws. If you like repair content just like this, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And if you're having a go at this repair yourself, let me know how you get on in the comments below. I think I've explained it as clearly as possible, but if I've made any mistakes, you guys are usually quite unforgiving, and I appreciate your feedback. If you didn't take my advice at the beginning when we first got this back cover off, you need to get all that adhesive off now. Before we go ahead and stick it down, I'm just going to run some isopropyl alcohol all the way around and then just give it a rub. Make sure that it's really nice and clean and there's nothing stopping it from sticking back onto the phone well. Now, I know that a lot of people are often tempted to use glues to stick these back covers down. I've seen lots of videos where people use glues. I really don't recommend using glue. The problem with glues is A, it takes a long time to cure and people are often impatient. You have to clamp it or tape it or use elastic bands to hold it together, and it's just not ideal. It doesn't leave a nice finish and it's hard to get it off later. And in the absence of an official Samsung service pack seal, I'm going to use 4 strips of good old Tessa tape to re-secure the back cover into place. One on the bottom. I always cut them too long and then rub them into the edge. One on the top. One long strip on either side. It's becoming more and more clear to me that these genuine parts aren't always available in the countries where you guys watch this from. So me showing you these alternate techniques where you can't get those parts, maybe you're critical of that, I don't care. Once you've laid them all out like that, we're just going to cut it and then cut around the corner. This isn't corner cutting, it's just cutting around the corner. Same again here. It's going to look a little something like that, and then we're going to peel back the backing sheet. I always recommend using the official Tessa tape. Other brands are not as good, in all honesty. Once they're all peeled off, then we can just drop the back cover in place. Make sure it's lined up on one corner and one edge. The rest of it will follow, and it's just a case of applying pressure and that's ready. Unlike glue that you have to wait for it to cure, this is now re-secured, ready to turn on, and even ready to use. Just remove the plastic film. I'm not going to, because we like to keep our grubby mitts on it off it before we hand it back to the customer. But thanks again for watching, and see you in the next video.